Since being launched in 1990 by CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, the World Wide Web has come a long way. In just 20 years, the web has grown significantly, and more information has become accessible to the general public in the last 20 years than in the last 1,000 years. With general information becoming exponentially more accessible to internet users around the world, the lines have been blurred between what is considered private and public information. Websites like YouTube and Wikipedia, which allow for users to share videos and other information without censorship, in most countries anyway, are clearly for the public use, while much more specific websites such as harrisbank.com, used to manage one's bank account, and etrade.com, used to manage stock investments, are much more personal and private websites. Only recently, though, have social networking services, websites that allow you to connect to people by sharing interests, pictures, and other personal information within a social community, have become a large part of the World Wide Web. Facebook, the largest and most popular social networking site, was launched in 2004 and now has over 500 million active users. The prominent rise of Facebook has brought with it a critical decision that employers must act on regarding potential and current employees. While Facebook has qualities of both a public and a private website, in its entirety it is public information. Thus, because it is public information, employers have the right to act upon it in making decisions regarding potential and current employees. Reasonable expectation of privacy is a legal standard often utilized in determining whether somebody has the right to privacy in a situation. The reasonable expectation refers to the amount of privacy that a person expects to have in a situation. There are countless court cases that have used this standard of reasonable expectation of privacy when deciding exactly how much privacy the individual deserved. One case in particular involved a judge in Colombia, Consuelo Sanchez Duran, who indicted a drug lord named Pablo Escobar. After the ruling, Duran received death threats towards her and her family, causing her to flee the country and relocate in Detroit. While Duran took precautions in maintaining her distance from Escobar by being unlisted in the phone book, not joining clubs or organizations, and staying away from public events and concerts, she also used her real name in public and even told a few neighbors her story and why she fled Colombia. When reporters disclosed her story and revealed her address, she proceeded to sue the news company. However, the court ruled that because Duran revealed her identity to her neighbors and other local residents, she could not have the benefit of a reasonable expectation of privacy. In other words, by sharing her story and information with a select few, she opened herself up to the public eye. This is the same thing with information on Facebook, except instead of sharing with a few people, you share with hundreds, and along with talking to people, you post pictures and videos as well. Signing up for Facebook opens up that information to the public eye, making it perfectly reasonable, just as it was for the reporters, for the employers to factor it into their decision making. By putting information on Facebook, such as pictures and wall posts, you surrender any reasonable expectation of privacy for that information. Employers have the right to look at a job candidate's Facebook page not only because there is no reasonable expectation of privacy, but also because this allows for the employer to gain a new and very important perspective on a potential employee. This is especially crucial when making an important hire. During a job interview, the interviewer tries to reveal everything they can about the candidate. Usually, this is much more than just credentials, such as education and past experience that can be found on a resume. The interviewer is trying to find out who this person is, what is their attitude, their outlook on certain topics, opinions, and ideas. The problem with an interview, however, is that most candidates will not openly reveal information about themselves that they know would jeopardize their chances at getting the job. This can deceive the employer when he or she seemingly makes a good choice when hiring. Fortunately, though, Facebook can reveal much more than candidates would ever want their boss to know about them. In June of 2009, a Career Builder survey found that in over 2,600 participating hiring managers, 45% use social networking sites to research potential employees. Within the employers checking Facebook in this particular survey, 35% say they found something that caused them not to hire the individual. Furthermore, the reasons for hiring the candidates are like so. 53% of candidates posted inappropriate or provocative pictures. 44% posted content about them drinking or doing drugs, and 26% of candidates made discriminatory comments. Here's a story that coincides with the statistics above. In 11th grade, we had a manager of a big company come to talk to us about proper etiquette when entering the workforce or dealing with adults in general. He told us that he was in the process of deciding to hire someone and was taking a liking to the individual. That was, of course, before a colleague of his suggested that he check out his Facebook profile. First activity he had listed under information was quote-unquote rolling blunts with the bros. Immediately, he disregarded the candidate as a serious potential employee for his company. The next statistic, however, reveals just how serious the workforce is. In the same survey, out of the managers who disregarded a candidate's application because of information they found online, 14% said it was because a candidate used an emoticon, such as a smiley face. Another 16% said it was because a candidate used text language in an email or job application, such as GR8 for great. No matter what the ideals and attitude is in the core of the company, the employees will be the face of that company and will reflect those core ideals out into the world. Employers have every right to research a potential employee from every angle in order to be sure that they will reflect the company in a positive manner. Facebook allows them to do this easier and more successfully. Facebook continues to grow exponentially since its launch in 2004, and although the majority of Facebook users are in college or have recently graduated, it has made its way into the older demographic. It has become not only a tool for late-night chatting with friends, but also to keep in touch with distant friends, publicize information about basically anything, and bring your social life into the public eye. As a result, Facebook has pushed its way into the workforce, forcing employers to make a decision. Whatever the decision may be, employers do have the right to check potential employees' Facebook profiles. By posting pictures of their Saturday night and information about themselves on the most popular social networking site in the world, Facebook users have surrendered their enjoyment of reasonable expectation of privacy, allowing employers to research job candidates without breaching some private, personal social life. Employers also need to think about the image that their employees will reflect of their company. Growth of Facebook and other social networking sites have opened up new ways for companies to research candidates. Rather than blame the employers for doing their research, users need to adapt to Facebook being a new research database for companies, because from here, Facebook is only going to grow into something larger than just a social networking site.